The purpose of this video is to show how to operate the excellent bagel divider and bagel former, produce bagels, properly clean and maintain the machine. Prior to operating the machine, make sure all safety guards are in proper position. There are 4 safety guards on the machine as demonstrated. The first safety guard is at the end of the former. The second one is a side guard at the former. The third safety guard is in the front where the knives are cutting of the divider. The fourth safety guard is in the rear of the divider. You remove the guard, the machine shuts off automatically. Any one of these guards must be on in order for the machine to function. In addition to the safety guards, we have 3 emergency stop switches, which are wired into the main control and into the divider. If you push any of these emergency buttons, the machine will shut off automatically. Once dough is mixed, we start the divider and former by depressing 2 green push buttons on the control panel. Now the operator can start feeding dough strips onto the machine and produce bagels. When you feed the machine, make sure that the second piece overlaps the first dough piece. This eliminates having beginnings and ends of uneven weights. The machine will run continuously as long as you feed dough continuously. As the bagels are being fed from the divider into the former, they will be going under this pressure plate. The pressure plate is spring-loaded. The beginning of the pressure plate must be high enough, at least 1.5 inches, so the bagel can go under the pressure plate into the forming tubes. Upon finishing production, now we are ready to stop the machine and start the cleaning process. To clean the bagel former, we must first remove the former end guard, which is held by a thumb screw and sits on the side guard. It is made of stainless steel. Put the part on the bagel forming table. Now we are removing the 2 thumb screws which are holding the side guard. These are safety guards. Any guard that's being removed will stop the machine from operating. Now we are opening the 3 black knob with screws on the clamps that hold the forming device. The white UHMW tubes, forming tubes. Put the 3 screws on the table again. Never put anything on the dough in feed belt. The forming tubes are 2 pieces, 2 halves. You remove the first half, loosen the belt via turning the hand wheel clockwise. This will make it easier to remove the belt later on. Now take the bracket, which has 1 thumb screw, off the 2 rollers, which are the belt tightening rollers. We are removing now the hold down screw that holds the pressure plate down in order to clean it. Again, put the screw on a table which is on a former. Now we are having the centering device. It's a belt centering device with a black knob between the both machines, which lets the roller come into the machine in order for the belt to slide off easily. We are now scraping the belt with a plastic scraper of residue dough. Dough has to be scraped off before it gets hard and dry. which means it should be done when the machine is taken apart within the first 15 minutes of finishing production. The white forming tubes can be washed with hot water. Do not use any soap on any part of the equipment, because soap will transfer the soap taste to the bagels. We are removing the second half of the forming tubes. Now we can slide the belt out easily. Finish cleaning the belt and then slide it out. The same procedure is required when you change a belt, when you put a new belt onto the machine. The old belt comes off, the new belt goes on. Now you have the entire machine exposed and you can clean every part thoroughly. You can use a brush or a dry rag to wipe down the machine. Never hose the machine down. The machine is basically made of oil steel, stainless steel, and aluminum. You remove those two belt tightening rollers, clean them, and if necessary, use a little food oil and put it on the shafts so the rollers will come out easy. This should be done whenever the machine is taken apart for any cleaning purpose. You see now the rubber-coated drive roller, which can be cleaned with a damp rag. You do not take this roller off. You clean the turntable, which is the table which catches bagels when you're running behind of picking them up. Now we are reinstalling the belt. You put the belt around the rubber roller at the end, put it over the first belt tightening roller and under the second belt tightening roller. Then put the belt in between the forming tube clamps, which hold the white forming tubes, and push it under the pressure plate and over the steel roller at the end. We are calling that roller the idler roller. Since the belt is loose, the belt goes on easy, since we released all the belt tensioning assembly. Insert half of the forming tubes, the rear part. Now put the second part into the clamps, push them up, insert the 3 screws with the black knobs, tighten them. Do not tighten them fully, just get them started. Once the belt is centered, you can tighten them. We are putting the bracket on the both belt tightening rollers. It's held by a thumb screw, which prevents the rollers from moving out, away from the shaft. Now we need to center the belt. Make sure the belt is in the center of the rollers, which means you're turning the belt centering knob, which is between the first and the second machine, on the former, clockwise. Tighten the hand wheel so the belt gets tight again. It should not be over tightened, should be a simple trampoline type. Now we need to put and install the side guard again, because the machine will not run without the guard. You use 2 thumb screws to tighten the side guard into the machine shaft. You do not need any tools to disassemble or assemble this machine. Every guard that you take apart, away from the machine, disassemble, comes off via taking out the thumb screws. You're putting the guards back in, you use the thumb screws again. We need to install the end former guard. The U-shaped opening slides right into a thumb screw. The front sits right on a side guard with 2 brackets. Now you need to tighten the pressure plate via the big pressure plate screw. We start the former, push the green former button, and now we need to make sure the belt is in the center. You need to turn the knob a bit, very slightly left or right, to bring the belt in the center of the 2 rollers. The 2 large rollers on either end of the machine. Now we tighten the clamping screws fully, so the belt is properly in the forming tubes. We turn off the machine, hitting the red stop button. Cleaning of the former actually is finished now. Now we are going on to the divider. Bagel divider is relatively easy to clean. There are 2 thumb screws in the front under the dough infeed belt. You remove the 2 thumb screws, which allows you to clean the divider from the front inside. You can clean off the belt. Now the knives, the cutting knives, are exposed. There are 2 knives inside the divider. There is a scraper with a hole in the center, which fits very tight up against the stainless steel drum. You put your hand into the finger into the hole of the scraper, pull it towards you, release it, all the residue dough will fall out. You make sure when you make it snap back into the stainless steel roller that it is snapped back tight. If it's not tight, it will not scrape the drum and you will not have clean pieces cut by the dividing knives. Now we are reinstalling the safety guard with the 2 thumb screws. In the rear is a safety guard. It is also Lexan see-through. Once you remove this guard, the divider will stop. It will not start. You need to engage the rear safety guard again and actually start the machine on the control panel. The machine will not start by itself. To clean the infeed section where the dough gets fed into the machine, you basically need a dry brush. You just sweep the residue off the belt and off the frame that's on the side. On this side of the machine is our weight adjustment. It is a handle with a black knob which is spring-loaded. You can go up with this handle, which brings your weight down. The further up you go, the less your weight of your bagel is. You can go down up to about 1.5 ounces. The further down you go, the heavier your bagel gets. You can go up to about 5.5 ounces. This concludes our demonstration on operation, maintenance, and cleaning of our excellent bagel divider and bagel former.